Hello everyone. Now today we will see a story of a greedy dog. Okay, an English story. The name of the story is The Greedy Dog. The Greedy Dog. Now see here, the story name is The Greedy Dog. The story name is The Greedy Dog. Okay, now see here. Before starting the story, before narrating the story, let's see what is this. Who is this, children? Who is this? This is a dog. Dog. What will he have? What is this? This is a bone, right? This is a bone. Next, see here. This is also a dog. Then comes here. This is a dog. Also a dog, right? He is carrying meat. So see here first. Then this is a river which he need to cross. He need to cross. Okay. Then comes, this is also a dog, and below is the moral of the story. Okay. Now shall we start, children? See, story name is The Greedy Dog. The Greedy Dog. Now see here. One day, what happened? One day, a dog found a piece of meat. So what is the dog found? He found a piece of meat. One day, a dog, listen carefully. One day, a dog found a piece of meat. He was also feeling hungry. So he found a piece of meat. So one day, this dog, that is one day, a dog found a piece of meat. So what happened? If he found the piece of meat, you can come from here. Then the second is, he thought. What he thought? He wanted to eat the meat at kennel. That means he wanted to eat the meat at home. This is his home. Kennel means home. It's home. So what he thought? He was hungry. He found one day a piece of meat here. So what he thought in his mind? He thought, you can come here, see my action. Okay. So he thought in his mind, he will take the meat and he will have it at his home. That is, he will have the meat at the kennel. Okay. So he was thinking, he was imagining. That is, he means who? The dog. So he wanted to eat the meat at home. We will revise once again. See. One day, a dog found a piece of meat. So what he did? He was imagining. He found a piece of meat. So he wanted to eat the meat at his home. So he wanted to eat the meat at home. Then what happened? After this, he came to see the arrow is going here, and then the arrow is going. So the dog, what happened? What he did was, he wanted to go to its home, right? He wanted to eat the meat at his home, and home is far away. He wanted to cross the bridge. Then only he can cross a river. Then only he can reach his home. Okay. So see, for that, what he did? He had to cross a river to reach home. To reach his home, he need to cross a river. This is a river. This is a small narrow bridge which he need to cross to go or to reach his home. So what he did? He had to cross a river to reach home. So what happened? Let's see what happened. Then the dog was having this bone here, that is the meat here. Okay. So what happened? He need to cross the river. See, as he was crossing, he looked down into the water. So he was crossing here. See, at the middle of the bridge, you can see here he was crossing, right? He was crossing. Suddenly he saw he saw down into the water. That means he looked down into the water. So if you see in the mirror, so what you will see? You will see another of you? No, right? No, right? What you will see? You will see your reflection. You will see your reflection, right? So the same, the dog also looked down into the water. On the middle of the bridge while crossing, he looked down into the water. He was having the meat, not anyone. As he saw his reflection only. But he thought in his mind, what he thought? He thought in his mind there was another dog who was carrying the meat. So what he did? He was greedy. Okay, he barked at the dog. Bow, 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 bow. He barked at the dog. How can he carry? How can he carry? That is, how can the another dog carry meat? It is he only the one who should carry the meat, and he is going to home. For that only he is crossing a river, and then he need to go to home. While crossing the river, he saw his reflection, but he never thought it was his reflection. Instead, what he thought? He thought there was another dog who is carrying the meat. So he barked at the dog and said, "Bhaw, bhaw, bhaw." He barked at the dog. So what happened? See, the line comes here. Then what happened? As he opened his mouth for barking, his meat fell into the river. Now actually his meat fell into the river. He was expecting more than one. He had one meat, right? He was expecting more than one. He was expecting two. Now what happened? He is left with none, right? So as he opened his mouth for barking, his meat which was in his mouth, he was holding his mouth, fell into the river. So finally, what the dog got? The dog lost the meat. He was left with none, right? The dog lost the meat. For that, he was crying. See, the dog lost the meat. See, right? So here, what is the moral? The moral is, see, the moral of the story is be happy with what you have. What you are having, you should be happy with it. You should not expect more. If you expect more, either you will end up with nothing or you will end up with what you are having. Okay. So it's better. Moral of the story. In each story, there will be a lesson. There will be a lesson for us. The moral from this is, that is the moral from the greedy dog is, be happy with what you have. Why greedy dog? This is a dog, but he was greedy. That's why the name was greedy dog. The greedy dog. Now I am revising once again just to see. The name of the story, it's an English story. The name of the story is The Greedy Dog. It's about a dog who is greedy, who was having a meat. Okay. He was greedy. He wanted one more meat. He ended up with nothing. Now see how you can see here. I am narrating once again. He is a dog, right children? He is a dog. So one day what happened? A dog, he found a piece of meat here. So after he found a piece of meat, what he did? He was thinking he will eat the meat at his home. That is, at his kennel he will eat the meat. So he wanted to eat the meat at home. Then next comes here is the, can see here comes, he had to cross a river. For that what he did? To reach home, to reach the dog's home, he need to cross a river. What he need to do is, he need to cross a river to reach home. Cross a river. That means this river he need to cross. This is a narrow bridge. He need to cross a river to reach home. So what happened? He is trying to go now. Now see, he is going here, going here, going here. Then he is coming here for crossing. As he was crossing, that is at the middle of it. As he was crossing, what he did is, he looked down into the water. He looked, where he looked down into the water. If we look in the mirror, what we see? We see our reflection, right? We see any other person? No, right? We see our reflection only, we will see there. Okay, now see. So the dog also looked into the water. The water is transparent. So in the water itself, that is in the river itself, if the dog is seeing, the dog will see his reflection and not the other person or the dog will be there, right? So this is the simple thought which he didn't thought of. What he thought? There was some another dog who is also carrying meat. So he thought this meat also he should have. That's why he started to barking. He started to bark at the dog, at this dog. He started to bark. Bhaw, 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 bhaw. That means what happened? See here. The story came here, ended up here. As he opened his mouth, his meat fell into the river. So finally what the dog got? He got nothing. He left with nothing. He was having one meat. He wanted one more meat. That is more than one. What he left with? He was left with nothing. Not even the one meat which he was having. So finally the dog lost the meat. So see here, that's why the dog is feeling guilty. This was his reflection and not another dog who is carrying the meat. Okay. So what is the lesson of the story? What is the moral of the story is we should be happy with what we have. That is, be happy with what you have. I hope everyone has liked the video, like the story, the greedy dog. Okay, like the story, the greedy dog. Thank you, children. Thank you, everyone, for listening the story the way I am narrating. Thanks a lot. It really means me a lot. Thank you once again.